By the late 1960s, Elvis Presley, the man who had once set the world on fire, was fading fast. Trapped in a cycle of cheap Hollywood movies and throwaway soundtracks, the king of rock and roll seems more like a relic of the past than a living legend. His last major non-gospel top 10 hit had been years earlier and the musical world had moved on. But in 1969, everything changed. Elvis went back to his Memphis roots, recorded some of the finest music of his career, and proved to the world and to himself that he was still a force to be reckoned with. This is the story of From Elvis in Memphis, the album that resurrected Elvis Presley. After returning from the army in 1960, Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, locked him into a formula: 3 movies a year, each with a soundtrack. It made plenty of money, but at a terrible artistic cost. The raw, untamed energy of Heartbreak Hotel and Jailhouse Rock was replaced by songs like Do the Clam and Song of the Scrimp. The king who once shocked the world had been reduced to forgettable fluff. Fans who once saw him as dangerous now saw him as safe, predictable, and even irrelevant. By the mid-60s, Elvis was wealthy but frustrated and deeply unhappy with the music he was being forced to record. He knew he had more to give. He just needed a spark. That spark came in December 1968, when NBC aired what became known as the 68 Comeback Special. Filmed earlier that summer, it showed Elvis dressed head to toe in black leather, performing with raw passion and reminding the world why he had become a cultural icon. For one electrifying hour, Elvis was lean, dangerous, and magnetic again. The show was a triumph, re-establishing him as a vital performer. But for Elvis, it was more than a TV success. It was a turning point. He made a promise. He would only sing songs he truly believed in. The fire was back. Now he needed to take it into the studio. Instead of returning to RCA Safe Studios in Nashville, Elvis made a bold decision. He would record in his hometown of Memphis, at a place called American Sound Studio. Producer Chips Moment and the house band known as the Memphis Boys were creating some of the grittiest, most soulful records of the era. They worked with Neil Diamond, Dusty Springfield and the Box Tops. Their sound was raw, funky and real. Everything Elvis had been missing. It was a gamble. Moment was known for being tough and uncompromising. Colonel Parker hated the idea of Elvis working with outsiders, but Elvis insisted. He was betting his career on the belief that Memphis could give him back his musical soul. In January and February 1969, Elvis walked into American Sound Studio. The atmosphere was completely different from the sterile RCA environment. This was a working class studio, smoky, gritty, alive with energy. From the very first track, it was clear something special was happening. Elvis put years of frustration in that vocal, giving one of the most dramatic performances of his career. For 10 nights, Elvis and the Memphis Boys worked tirelessly, blending rock, country, blues and soul. Chips Moment pushed Elvis harder than he had been pushed in years, demanding honesty in every take, and Elvis responded. He was singing like he had something to prove, because he did. The sessions produced some of the most powerful songs of Elvis's career. Wherein That Love Don't Look, funky, swaggering, and the perfect opener. Only the Strong Survive, Elvis's channeling pure soul. Power of My Love, gritty, blues-drenched energy. In the Ghetto, a daring, socially conscious ballad about the cycle of poverty. Elvis's heartfelt delivery turned it into a worldwide hit. And then there's that hidden gem, I Hold You in My Heart. This wasn't even planned. Elvis sat at the piano and began singing this old Eddie Arnold tune. And the band simply joined in. What came out was pure magic. It feels less like a polished recording and more like a moment you weren't supposed to hear. Elvis completely open, raw and soulful. Gospel, country and blues all collide in one breathtaking performance. For me, this track is the very soul of the entire album. Although not included on the original LP, one of the singles from these sessions became just as legendary, Suspicious Minds. With its dramatic stop-start bridge and soaring finale, it gave Elvis his final US #1 hit. Alongside In the Ghetto, Don't Cry Daddy and Kentucky Rain, it proved that Elvis wasn't just back, he was making some of the best music of his career. What made From Elvis in Memphis truly unforgettable wasn't just the songs or the production, it was Elvis's voice. By 1969, his voice had matured into something extraordinary. It had a richness of gospel, the grit of blues, the storytelling of country, and the urgency of rock and roll, all fused together in a way that no other singer could match. Listen to Long Black Limousine. The way his voice cracks with grief makes the song feel lived in, almost autobiographical. Only the Strong Survive, he delivers it with the power of a gospel shouter, like someone raised on the sound of Memphis church music. In the Ghetto, his voice carried quiet dignity, never over-singing, just letting the emotions breathe. And I'll Hold You in My Heart. You hear Elvis at his most raw, spontaneous, intimate, almost like a prayer. Elvis didn't just sing songs, he inhabited them. He could shift from tender and vulnerable to fierce and commanding within a single line. That ability to move effortlessly across genres created a style that was uniquely his own. On this album, you don't just hear Elvis the performer. You hear Elvis the artist laying his soul bare. His voice is the thread that ties it all together, turning From Elvis in Memphis into not just a great record, but one of the most emotionally powerful achievements of his entire career. Released in 1969, From Elvis in Memphis was hailed as a masterpiece. Critics praise its authenticity and soul. Record Mirror even wrote, "Take down your This Is Soul album and replace it with From Elvis in Memphis." Commercially, it was a triumph. In the Ghetto climbed the charts, and the singles from the sessions dominated radio through 1969 and 1970. The material was so strong, it filled the second album, Back in Memphis. But the impact went beyond sales. The success of these sessions gave Elvis the confidence to return to live performing. That summer, he opened his historic Las Vegas residency, channeling the fire of the Memphis recordings into unforgettable concerts. From Elvis in Memphis was more than just an album. It was a rebirth. It was Elvis reclaiming his voice, his passion, and his artistic soul. By returning to Memphis, he reconnected with the music that defined him. and proved he wasn't just a nostalgia act from the 50s. This record redefined Elvis Presley as a timeless artist, capable of standing alongside the greatest soul, country, and rock singers of all time. The king was back, and with From Elvis in Memphis, he saved not just his career, but his legacy. What's your favorite track from Elvis in Memphis? Do you go for the raw emotion of In the Ghetto, the hidden gem I'll Hold You in My Heart, or the haunting drama of Long Black Limousine, or something entirely else? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe for more stories that uncover the real Elvis Presley. I'll see you in the next video.